All right, Coach Harner, first of all, thank you so much for giving me time on the day after Thanksgiving. I know one thing coaches love. They love practicing on Thanksgiving Day, and I'm sure it was great for you to do that again.
Yeah, and I tell the kids all the time, no matter what happens at this point, if you're practicing on Thanksgiving, you've had a heck of a season. It's something to be proud of. It's an honor and a privilege to be practicing on Thanksgiving Day. And a lot of other people are not able to and wish they could. So, anytime you get to this point, you kind of got to soak it in and realize that you've done something special.
Coach, when you look at it, obviously you and Coach Allen are real close, great friends, and all that. But talk about just overall the familiarity, because the thing about you guys, I mean, George Wythe and Galax, it goes without saying. I mean, it's a great rivalry, not only when you look at it from a district standpoint, from a regional standpoint, because both you guys, you know each other so well. So just talk about just the rivalry, just the matchup, because you guys really get after it when you play.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's been like this, I guess, for 10, 11 years. Or right around 9 or 10, I guess. It's come down between us and Galax every time. And they're well coached and Coach Allen does a great job. And it gets to this point, he knows what I'm going to do and I know what he's going to do. It's about whose kids are going to come out there and execute and be able to adjust to a couple wrinkles he's going to throw at us and wrinkles that we're going to throw at him, things he hasn't seen. And, your kids, is the main things I've been preaching to my kids about them, because they're going to throw things at us that we haven't seen, is, as long as we can get aligned, know your assignment, we can make an adjustments and be okay. And this is a big rival game for us and for them as well, because generally whoever comes out of this game is going on, most years to the state championship. And, that's what I hope happens, regardless of this outcome, is somebody from the MED representing us in the state championship game.
Now, when you look at it, recent history has not really been on George West's side. I mean, you guys got the win last year, but this year they got you in the regular season. And overall in the playoffs, it's a six matchup, but Galax has won all five previously. So, I mean, how do you attack that aspect of it, or just go out there and just play the game?
We got to go out there and just play our game. Every year's different. Not every year's the same. You got different kids. There's been many years out there that they were bigger uh, than their offensive line, defensive line. I had 180-pound guys and they got 250-pound guys. This is about pure physics. Sometimes that ain't going to turn out very well. They've been outstanding with their line play, and what set us apart last year is we were able to match that physicality and the size and strength with it. This first meeting this year, you start out the game with two fumbles, giving them ball inside your 20, and it's 14-0 with maybe a minute, 2 minutes of play in the first quarter. You got trying to dig your way out of that's hard. It don't matter who you're playing. It don't matter if it's Galax or somebody else. If you're playing a good football team, you can't make those mistakes.
And then, and I know we've talked about this before. I mean, year in, year out, your schedule before you can get into the district is tough. And then you obviously get into district play. And it just seems like, from my perspective, and we've talked about this before, your pre-district schedule, it just seems like gets you ready for where you are now. And it's the same with Galax. Galax and George Wythe will always play a tough non-district schedule, and it's not about necessarily what happens early. It's where you are now. And I'm sure that's got to be big to know that, you played that tough schedule, and what you're doing now is not really phasing you, because you guys know what it's like to play tough teams.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big thing that we wanted to try to do, is play those tough opponents, because when you do, your weaknesses are exposed, and you figure out real quick what you got to practice more on to get those things fixed, and that's something that you work every week. Um, because once you play good teams again, if you can get those things fixed, you're going to be okay. The toughest thing to do when you're playing a schedule like that with us and Galax is buy-in from your kids. Having the kids understand a failure does not mean it's the end all. Failures in life, no matter what you're doing, can help you succeed. And that's what we try to instill. And our kids last year were great with that. And, it's moved on to this year. When we lost a game, to Radford or Graham, or even the first time we played Galax, everybody came in and was like, these are the things that we did. We know what we messed up on. We got to get them fixed. And if we do, we're going to be good. And if we don't, we're going to have the same problems. So, I'm just very proud of our kids for all the buy-in, the belief, and what they were able to accomplish. Because that's hard. Losing's tough, and our kids are always responded the right way.
And we talked about it before. I mean, the familiarity between what you guys and do and Galax, what you guys do on both sides. But is there something maybe different that you've noticed what Galax maybe have done this year that maybe they haven't done in previous years?
It's the same schemes. When you're playing Galax, you better stop inside zone, outside zone, your gap scheme, and your play action passes. We're going to try to hit you deep. The one thing Coach Allen's done differently this year is he's gotten in a ton more formations. So your kids have to be able to recognize those things and make adjustments off of that. It's like every week he'll have a new formation and a wrinkle. And then every week he'll do a wildcat formation with that, 6 foot, 215-pound running back, where he'll go empty, he'll go spread, he'll go unbalanced, he'll go tackles over. So, when I go back and watch film, and break down things, I've tried to do, the past 2 or 3 years that he's been coaching there, and kind of throw a little bit of that at my kids. But the problem is if you do it too much, they can get too confused. So I try to keep it very basic. And then if we see something we hadn't seen, we can't adjust, we just call timeout. But Coach Allen's done a great job of just giving you things that you haven't seen, you're not used to, and you're going to have to adjust to it.
And then overall, I mean, we've seen this district, the Mountain Empire district, is so strong. But then going outside, the Region 1C, out of all the years, we've covered this for several years, it seems like this year it might have been the strongest it's ever been. I mean, because you got all these teams and the records and everything. But again, like you mentioned, at the end of the day, it all goes back to George Smith and Galax. Seeding wise, I mean, you were a 3 and they were a 5 seed, and obviously it's because of record and all that. But just talking about just not only the strength of the district, like you mentioned, but the region, it just seemed like it was so loaded this year. And obviously, like you mentioned, it seems like whoever is going to come out of this region is going to have a good shot at winning the whole thing.
Yeah. And I think I talked to you earlier in the year, just, watching teams and watching us, in the MED, there was like 4 or 5 teams that if you didn't come out and play, anybody could win. Fort had good nights. They could give you fits. Giles, they could come out and give you fits. Galax and Grayson. There's a lot of teams out there that if you don't come to play, you're going to lose. It could go either way. I don't believe this year there was like a top dog that was just better than everybody else. Everybody was kind of on a certain playing field, but you better come out and play.
Yeah, and then obviously you look at the other teams like your Bath and Perry McClure and all those and Narrows. I mean, we were talking about even at our station. I said, "Wow, this is." I mean, I I felt from my perspective, I think you could have put all these teams in a hat, and whoever won the region, you couldn't say, "Wow, they really earned it." It just to me, it was just. I mean, it was like it was a battle royal. I was like, "Wow, this is a loaded region."
Yeah, we've talked about it, me, Stephen James, Shane Allen, we talk a lot, and we was talking about, man, if we can just get through this region, whoever, gets through this region and can stay healthy, because it's been a bloodbath. I mean, we've been beating and banging on each other. Grayson was beaten, banged up, Galax is beaten, banged up. We're beaten, banged up, luckily for Shane, he's not really got anybody out. We've lost 3 two-way starters throughout the course of the year. Great players. But a lot of our young kids have stepped up and filled those roles. But when you play games like that, you're going to go through injuries, and staying healthy is very important when you get to this time of the year, because you need your best.
And obviously, the run that you guys made last year is particularly at home. Just how big is it to have this regional championship game in Wytheville?
Well, I mean, anytime you're playing at home, that's going to make your kids be more a little bit more excited. Our fans will pack this place, and that really helps the kids too. Because they have a lot of pride for our community and want to make people proud of this football program. So having it played here and not Galax, because it seems like we've been playing at Galax forever, is a big turnaround for us.
Good deal. Well, Coach, first of all, I appreciate you. Wish you good luck. We know a team with either it's going to be the Maroons or Maroon Tide, so we know it's going to be a Maroon. Someone with Maroon in their nickname is going to pull this out. But congratulations on your season and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate you.